Fear was once my most rigorous instructor. In its sharp, unrelenting lessons, it taught me to recognize danger and heed the whispers of caution. I learned to anticipate perils, real and imagined, and to retreat before I was bruised, emotionally or physically. In that era, fear was a lantern in the dark, guiding, illuminating hazards, compelling vigilance. I honored it as protector, crediting its vigilance whenever I sidestepped a misstep. But seasons change, as does the soil in which our roots take hold. Over time, I realized that fear's incessant tutoring came at a price. Each lesson, once vital, gradually morphed into an anchor, chaining me to safety's shore. I watched doorways of opportunity shrink behind walls of trepidation. Every fresh possibility was now shadowed by the echoes of "what if" and "I can't." The flame of curiosity flickered, starved of oxygen by the weight of doubt. Today, I am not the same being who once bowed to fear's stern edicts. Through trial and perseverance, I unearthed strengths dormant in the marrow of my bones, resilience, courage, and a hunger for growth. I discovered that mistakes, once so terrifying, can be fertile ground, rich with lessons that fear could never teach. My confidence is forged from moments when I stood at the precipice of the unknown and chose forward motion over retreat. Now, I regard fear not as mentor but as relic. Its warnings often ring hollow, mismatched to the reality I face. Where it once offered necessary caution, it now imposes undue limits, walls of doubt where there should be windows of possibility. I refuse to be tethered to a spirit that thrived on my hesitation. I long ago traded fear's harsh tutelage for the soft, steady guidance of self-belief. Every morning I remind myself that growth demands risk. I step beyond the familiar margins of comfort, and though an ember of nervousness may still glow in my chest, I do not allow it to dictate my direction. I have learned that courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to act in spite of it. And so I move, unbound, into new chapters where my aspirations are not shackled by yesterday's anxieties. In shedding fear's chain, I embrace a new teacher, experience itself. It rewards boldness with lessons more profound than any whispered warning ever could. It shows me that real strength arises when we redefine our boundaries, when we trust in our capacity to adapt, to learn, and to thrive. Fear taught me to survive. Now, I choose to flourish. Hiding was once my shield, the soft cocoon in which I could nurse my vulnerabilities, keep my doubts tucked away, and move through the world without ever exposing the parts of me that felt raw or unfinished. In that sanctuary of shadows, I believed I was safe from judgment, from disappointment, from the harsh gaze of strangers or friends who might deem me too much, too loud, too flawed. My silence, I told myself, was self-preservation. But with each passing season, that cocoon began to constrict. What once felt protective became imprisoning. I watched opportunities slip through my fingers because I feared my imperfections would disqualify me. I let my ideas die quietly in the safety of my mind rather than risk sharing them. I watched relationships wither, stunted by the walls I built around my secrets. Each omission, each unsaid truth felt like a betrayal, not of others, but of the person I was meant to become. Because the danger wasn't in exposure itself, it was in what hiding cost me. With every concealed thought, I fractured my sense of self. I denied my own experiences, my own voice, and in doing so, stole from the world the gift of my authenticity. I became a ghost in my own life, a spectator rather than a participant, forever peeking out from behind the curtain but never fully stepping into the light. Today I recognize that true safety lies not in hiding, but in honest presence. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is the wellspring of connection. Every time I lean into my truth, speaking the words that tremble on my lips, showing up with my quirks and scars, I forge deeper bonds with those around me. I inspire others to do the same. I reclaim parts of myself that were once silenced, and I surprise myself with the power and resilience that emerge when I refuse to shrink. So I challenge you. Step into visibility. Let the world see the full spectrum of who you are. Share your triumphs and your failures, your joys and your uncertainties. Trust that what makes you feel most exposed is precisely what makes you human, and what allows others to recognize themselves in you. In casting off the cloak of concealment, You not only liberate your own soul, but invite others to stand beside you in the open air of authenticity. Hiding may have protected you once, but now it is betrayal. It's time to unveil yourself and live fully, unafraid and unapologetically visible. Safety cradles us in familiarity, whispering that if we stay within its soft embrace, we'll remain unscathed. It promises comfort, predictability, an unbroken rhythm where every beat is known. Yet no life ever truly began in a cocoon of comfort. Growth demands more than mere preservation. It demands revelation. Truth is the midwife of our becoming. It strips away the scaffolding of appearances and the excuses we cling to, laying bare who we are at our core, our longings, our convictions, our unspoken yearnings. To align with that truth is not to court reckless danger, but to honor the integrity of our own soul. Courage ceases to be a gamble when it's simply the act of showing up as we really are. When you choose safety over truth, you build walls around your essence, brick by brick. You learn to speak in half sentences, or not at all. You craft a life that looks secure, but inside, the spirit shrivels from neglect. But when you turn toward truth, even if it feels perilous, you are actually stepping into resonance. Your words ring clear, your actions flow from conviction. You shed the weight of pleasing others or avoiding discomfort, and suddenly every moment hums with purpose. Imagine standing in the light of who you were made to be, your gifts, your quirks, your convictions unfettered. That emergence doesn't require extreme heroics, only the willingness to align with what you know in your bones. Speak the truth in your relationships. Take the small leaps that honor your deepest values. Dare to choose paths that feel right even when they're uncertain. Safety won't birth you, because it only maintains what is already familiar. Truth will birth you, because it calls forth what has lain dormant, waiting to be known and shared. And in that birthing, you discover that courage is not an act of risk, but of alignment, the simple, radical choice to be yourself. You've been standing on the edge, convinced that the world's currents, opportunities, right moments, perfect conditions, must align before you can make your move. You tell yourself, I'll start when the stars are in position, when the market cools down, when I feel more ready. But here's the truth. Timing isn't a distant metronome you have to sync with. Timing is a patient observer, poised to follow your lead. Every great leap in history began when someone decided not to wait for a better moment, but to make now the moment. They stirred the waters rather than waited for stillness. They showed up imperfectly, trusting that action would forge the path ahead. By leaping, they created momentum, an energy that carried them forward more surely than any checklist ever could. When you believe you're at the mercy of external timing, you shrink into passivity. You give your power away to circumstances beyond your control. But the instant you realize that timing is waiting on you, everything shifts. You become the catalyst. Your decision, however small, to speak up, to experiment, to reach out, to begin, to move, pulls the moment forward. It aligns opportunities, invites resources, and galvanizes the support you need. So stop rehearsing the perfect conditions. Stop deferring your dreams to some imaginary later. Start now. Take that first call, write that first page, pitch that idea, step into that room. By acting, you claim your authority over time itself. You'll find that as you move, obstacles recede, allies appear, and what felt impossibly premature transforms into precisely the moment it was meant to be. Remember, you're not waiting on timing. Timing is waiting on you. Your voice, your courage, your motion summons the right moment into existence. Seize it and watch every second bow in service to your purpose. Avoidance is a loop disguised as relief. Each time you sidestep a challenge, postponing a difficult conversation, shelving that daunting project, ignoring the whisper of intuition, you send a ripple through your life that circles back with greater force. Unaddressed, small hesitations bloom into tangled patterns, stress, regret, stalled progress. The truth is, evasion feels safe in the moment, but it births repetitive cycles that erode our confidence and momentum over time. We grow adept at ducking discomfort, and in doing so, we train ourselves to expect it, fueling a self-fulfilling prophecy of delay. What once was a single choice becomes a habit. Avoid today, avoid tomorrow, avoid always. Yet urgency need not become panic. When we face what we've been sidestepping, we break the cycle and transform urgency into purposeful energy. Acknowledge the weight of what you've been avoiding, then commit to one clear, concrete step. Send that email. Open that file. Speak the truth you've been rehearsing in your mind. Purposeful urgency is not the frantic scramble of last-minute crisis. It's the focused push that nudges you into action with clarity. It reminds you that the cost of inaction is greater than the discomfort of beginning. It galvanizes you not by raising anxiety, but by shining light on the freedom that comes from resolution. So welcome the tension. It signals that something meaningful awaits on the other side of your hesitation. Let your intention be firmer than your fear. Cycle breaking begins the moment you lean in, take a breath, and choose forward motion. In that decision, you release yourself from yesterday's loop and step into the momentum of what's possible. You were never called to shrink yourself to fit another's expectations. From the moment you drew your first breath, the universe whispered a truth into your spirit. You are meant for greatness, for depths of love and courage that defy the confines of small. Yet so often we tuck away our light, dimming our radiance to avoid discomfort or rejection. We fold our wings, convincing ourselves that safety lies in staying unremarkable, unseen. But each time we play small, we betray the spark inside us, an ember of divine potential waiting to ignite. Remember, God does not call the flowers to hide beneath the soil. He bids them rise, unfurl their petals, and stand in the sun. Your gifts, your voice, your compassion, your creativity are not incidental. They are the very way you serve the world, reflect the beauty of your Maker, and heal the lives around you. So stand tall in your true stature. Let your dreams expand to match the vastness you carry within. Speak your truth with boldness. Offer your kindness without reservation. Pursue your vision without apology. Yes, there will be voices that urge you back down, that try to tether you to the familiar. But those chains are forged by fear, not by your destiny. Allow your confidence to arise from the knowledge that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. As you step into fullness, you invite others to do the same. You were never called to play small. Your purpose is too grand, your gifts too needed, your journey too remarkable. Embrace the magnificence of who you are and let your life become a testament to the power of living large in faith. Pressure isn't a weight meant to break you. It's the forge that shapes you. When life tightens its grip, it's easy to imagine that the force bearing down is purely punitive. Yet every ounce of tension holds the blueprint of your next evolution. Under pressure, your hidden strengths surface. Just as diamond forms deep beneath the earth under immense force, your resilience crystallizes when you're pushed beyond your comfort. Each deadline that looms, each obstacle that presses, isn't a sign you're failing. It's evidence you're being readied for greater heights. Think of adversity as rehearsal, not punishment. The strain you feel today is the muscle memory of confidence tomorrow. When you face a tough conversation, an unexpected setback, or a whirlwind of demands, you're practicing courage in real time. You learn how to stand firm when everything shakes, how to adapt when plans unravel, and how to trust your capacity to endure. So welcome pressure as a teacher, not an enemy. Lean into the discomfort with curiosity. Ask yourself, what is this moment training me to do? With every challenge overcome, you'll look back and realize you've been learning to lead, to innovate, to persevere. Pressure isn't there to stop your story. It's there to add weight to your wings. Embrace it, and you'll find that the very forces that seemed destined to crush you have been quietly building you into something unbreakable. Fear is often painted as an enemy to be conquered, but what if it's really a compass pointing straight to our deepest longings? Whenever your heart quickens or your breath catches, pay attention. This isn't just alarm bells. It's a sacred signal. In that flutter of nerves before you speak your truth, fear is illuminating the value of your words. In the tremor before you take a leap of faith, fear is shining a light on the dream that truly matters. And in the quiet dread of the unknown, fear is inviting you to discover the treasure hidden just beyond your comfort zone. Rather than silencing fear, lean in and ask, what is this feeling trying to protect? What is it guiding me toward? When you decode fear as a spiritual messenger, you transform it from a chain into a guidepost. You start to see that the things you most resist are precisely the things you're called to embrace. So the next time fear blooms in your chest, welcome it as a friend. Listen closely to its message and let it steer you toward your purpose. In honoring fear's signal, you uncover what matters most, and you find the courage to live from that place of truth. You've poured so much of yourself into the bridges you build, relationships, projects, identities you thought would carry you forward. But sometimes the very structures you lean on must collapse so something new can rise in their place. When a bridge burns, it's not punishment. It's permission to let go. Release is not a loss. It's an open invitation. The flames that consume the old path clear the way for fresh ground to emerge. You're no longer bound by the roots that once felt safe or familiar. In their absence, you discover undiscovered landscapes within yourself, hidden strengths, buried dreams, and possibilities you never saw from the old vantage point. Trust that the ashes hold a fertile seedbed. In relinquishing what you once clung to, you make space for a truer bridge to be born, one built from authenticity, purpose, and hard-won wisdom. Though the heat of transformation can sting, remember, fire refines, it doesn't destroy the essence. Every ember whispers a promise that what follows will be stronger, steadier, and more aligned with the person you're becoming. So when you see the flames licking at the planks you once treasured, don't scramble back. Step forward. Embrace the disturbance as an act of grace. Allow yourself to mourn what was, but then turn your face toward what could be. Release is the midwife of rebirth. As the old bridge falls away, you find that your truest path has been waiting all along, ready for you to walk across it anew. You've been placed here on this earth with intention, not by random chance. From the moment your soul stirred to life, the universe conspired around you, shaping galaxies and forging suns to set the stage for your story. Every breath you draw, every heartbeat, is a testament to the purpose woven into your being. Yes, you will face moments of doubt, times when the path is shrouded and you question whether your steps matter. But even in the darkest valley, your presence is a beacon. You were born with unique gifts, lessons to learn, and a light to shine that no one else can carry. The trials you endure are not detours or punishments. They are sacred invitations to claim the depth of your wisdom and the fullness of your strength. Feel it in your bones. You are more than a passerby in the great unfolding. You are a co-author of creation, empowered to shape reality by the choices you make and the truths you declare. Your voice matters. Your faith matters. Your act of courage, no matter how small, ripples outward, awakening sparks of hope in unseen corners of the world. Today, stand firm in this truth. You're not here by mistake. Embrace the sovereignty of your spirit. Own your story with confidence, its joys, its scars, its miracles. Let every decision spring from the deep knowing that you were designed for impact, love, and transformation. When you awaken to this calling, you step fully into the power you were born to wield, and the world will never be the same.